we're going to look at the multi-dimensional grid here. So let me go to the configuration panel, and I'm going to pick certain dimensions. So I can have up to 4 levels, and then what it does is, and as you will see in the grid, it's going to segment it across each of those levels. So let me just pick case outcome. Let's see, we're going to pick patient age group, and then we're going to pick, let's pick patient 6, and then we want to pick product brand name. So let's do that and let's generate it first of all. So that's kind of hard to read because it is a lot of data and it's stretched out a lot. So that may not go very well in terms of trying to understand it. So let's change a few things here. Let's first make it vertical. Okay, good. So now when we make it vertical, it's slightly easier to at least understand what's going on. So we know that it says that for case outcome, when it segmented it, there are 5,000 cases. Patient age group, our second level, 5,000, it counted it. Patient sex, 5,000, and finally brand name, 5,000. Now, if we scroll down to see the first yellow, the first one is fatal. For case outcome, there's 65 of those. So we know if it's 65 fatal, then the second level, within the 65 fatal, there's 10 for adolescent and 40 for adult and 3 for child and so on until it makes up that 65. And then within that 10 for adolescent, there's 5 females. And if there's 5 females, I guess there should be 5 males. There you go. And then where do these 5 go? So we have the product brand side, so we get brand name rather. And then we look at these, all the products listed and combinations of products too. So this is 3 products together, for example. But really, there's the 5 here for Infectagon. So we know that 5 females all prescribed Infectagon. So there is a way to segment it. But the problem here is too many of these rows here offer no value because there's 0. So one of the other things we're going to do is we're going to suppress records with 0. And when we do that, okay, now I like it because now it's fatal 65, it shows you. Then you see the breakdown in the age group. Then you see the breakdown within the age group into the sex or gender. And then within that, you see which the product or product combination that were prescribed or that were used. That's good. Now we're going to do a little bit of filtering. There is a separate video on filtering, but we're just going to do a little bit of filtering to make this more manageable instead of 5,000 records. So let's filter case expectedness. Let's make it only expected. So I'm going to get rid of not expected. And there's that. And then let's just generate it. Okay, 2016, a little different. Good. Now I'm going to, the other thing I can do, for example, is export to Excel. So here's my grid. I'm going to just say export to Excel. So here it is. Let me open it. Okay, so this was the grid. This is the Excel. Same, basically, case outcome for 2060, patient sex, and the breakdown. We filtered on expected, so for case expectedness, and then you have all of these records. Yeah, and then there's 2 tabs here. So this is the grid itself, and then the filters that were applied. So the other thing it shows is basically the context of what the data is from or what is included in the data. So all the filters, so if you look at case expectedness, it's only expected because we basically got rid of, here, let's go and check that in the configuration panel. We got rid of not expected. So it does that. Now the other thing is you see this is 3 products listed together. Here we have 2 products listed together. So carbon neutral and Snorkel. And that's great. It's 2060 cases, I get it. But the thing is, in an AE case, obviously you can have this multiple products or multiple reactions or even multiple indications. And sometimes you want to count these individually. So you really want to know how many instances of carbon neutral you have, how many instances of Snorkel or some NAMP3 you have. So one way to do that is to go here and basically say, okay, right now this is checked by default. This is treat each combination, and these were the combination of products as a record. If we uncheck it, and now we will go and generate it. So now, as you can see, it's 2060 cases. It's in black, 2060, 2060. But the instances, because products are listed, either some products are listed multiple times only in the sense that a case contains multiple products, and so when you count the product individually, it adds up to more than the case. And we can see that here, 2060, but the instances of products listed is 2213. But now each instance is assigned to its own. So, for the adult male, 5 carbon neutral. For the child male, sure, 5 carbon neutral here too, but there's some Snorkel, there's some somnammetry, and so forth. And at the very bottom, it should say numbers in blue denote instances. So you know that when you're looking at it, this is not the number of cases, but the instances. However, the ones in black are the number of cases. Now, one more thing we're going to do just to play is we're going to go here in patient age group, and we're going to get rid of everything except elderly. So let's start off by getting rid of everything. Just by saying, I want to unselect everything. Then we're going to go here and just pick elderly. And then click on generate. So here we go. So this is 407. Now, one of the other options available in the data panel is confirmation report. So the idea behind the confirmation report is that if I have 385 cases and I'm looking at this, and this is the analysis I want to perform, I want to know, okay, this is the aggregate, this is in total, but what are the cases behind the 385 that are listed here? So I can go here and say, give me the confirmation report that will actually tell me what the cases are. And we will wait for it to download. Confirmation report is a little slow on the client side in this demo. On the server, it's very fast. But let's open the file up. So we know we had 385 cases. Now this is, so the layout of the confirmation report is determined by the admin. So there's a tool called ToroAdmin, and the administrator using ToroAdmin decides which columns appear and in which order appear in the confirmation report. So it could be you can pick from a series of columns, a series of data elements, and decide which ones go into your confirmation report, which ones link that give you enough information so you can look at it and kind of go, yep, I understand which cases were picked up in that analysis. So if I should be expecting 385, I believe. So, oops. Yeah, 386 with the header. So it showed you the 385 cases that went into it. And obviously, since we filtered, we expect all the cases to be expected. We filtered on age groups, and only left elderly. So we expect all of them to be elderly, sure. And the other things basically in the data panel is for saving this report, there's another video on saving reports and publishing reports. And finally, ToroViewer. This is disabled here in the demo, and ToroViewer is basically you have ToroCube. If you have ToroCube, you are doing all this analysis and creating it, and you have this interactivity with the data. And if you want to share it with someone, sure, you can print out an Excel, send them an Excel or something, and they can look at it. But if you want them to have the same level of interactivity with only the data that you've already filtered, you can export a ToroViewer and send that to them, and then they too can basically look at the same data that you're looking at. They just don't have the ability with ToroViewer to bring in more data or unfilter, because when you filter, you've limited the scope of the data. But within that scope of data, they can perform the same analysis that you can. Thank you for watching.